Ew, ew, big fish ish. Y'all know what it is. Let me make sure the audio's good. All right. As you can see, we're in the other studio. But today we're going to talk to you about, as you can see on the bottom of the screen, the Stoic challenge. All right. Becoming tougher, calmer, and more resilient. If you're not familiar with this book by William B. Irvine, then you need to get in tune with it. You need to get real familiar with it. And I tell y'all, yeah, when I know I've been telling y'all for a while, like the alignment, there's been a lot of alignment that's been occurring in my life. And I know it's just the energy that I'm putting out there, the energy that I'm deciding what I'm going to accept. Like I decide what energy I'm going to invite based on what energy I put out. And then once that energy comes my way, I then have to decide which energy I'm going to act on, which opportunities I'm going to act on, what I'm going to allow to come into my energy space. So there's been a couple examples today, just today, where things have aligned, things that I literally saw like a vision for yesterday have come to fruition this morning. I'm telling y'all, it's to the point where now I'm telling people what's going to happen. Like, I'm like, yo, watch, yo, this is the vision that I had, but I'm always worried about if I tell them, will it not happen? But to be totally honest, what do we talk about? Compounding, auto suggestion. When you tell other people, it'll just compound the message or the vision, whatever it is that you're looking to invite into your life. So I read this book. I just purchased it last week, The Stoic Challenge, and was in a bookstore down in New Orleans. Was in New Orleans for Justin's birthday. That's my big brother. For y'all that don't know, went down there and found a bookstore. So bookstores and libraries in general were one of those things that I never really had, an affiliation for, or just I don't even know if is that the right word? Yeah, somebody, hey, check, is that I just never had, such a care for, I would say, an appreciation for. And I just, I don't know. Lately, I've just been in a space where I've been enjoying books. And it's funny because it's like the more you read it, the more you read books, the more you enjoy it. So I guess it's one of those things where you just need to be exposed to it, give it a chance, and you really enjoy it. The more you get from the books, in my opinion, at least in my experience, I enjoy them more and more because it's like, yo, I'm about to get a gem. I'm about to read a book for maybe even if it's even 20 minutes in the morning, and I'm going to be able to take something from that 20 minutes and be able to apply it in my life. So that's something that's been real important for me, and something that has allowed me to buy into reading more books, watching less TV, and just scheduling time to read books as a part of my workday. It's a part of my workday. These books are, hopefully helping you not only in your, uh, you know, overall, well, it should be helping your overall life. So it shouldn't just be one particular category. It should be something that we can apply to all areas of our lives. So I was in the bookstore, cool little bookstore. This is probably like the second bookstore in the last month, real unique one that I went to. And sometimes I'll look for a book in particular that I have a couple on my list, or sometimes I'll just walk around the store. I love the self-help section. So sometimes I'll just look and see like what stands out, what appeals to me. What do I think? I kind of let the energy, carry it, where I grabbed this book and the Stoic Challenge. It was talking about stuff that I know that I need to work on and that can help take me to another level. So I said, why not? Let's buy it. I probably started reading it a couple days after that, and I think I got it Friday, finished it yesterday. Probably didn't start it till Sunday, so it took me about 3 days to read it. And quick read, and I soaked up a lot of game. And I think Stoicism is something that we all can incorporate into our day-to-day lives, and it be extremely beneficial. Extremely beneficial. So when I say Stoicism, what exactly? Actually, that's a good point. What exactly is Stoicism? I want to look up the definition and see what they write in here. So it says stoicism. Sorry for, it's one of those words hard to pronounce. Stoicism is a school of Hellenistic philosophy founded by Zeno of Citium in Athens in the early 3rd century BC. Okay. Okay. What else does it say? It's a philosophy of personal virtue ethics informed by its system of logic and its views on the natural world, asserting that the practice of virtue is both necessary and sufficient to achieve eudaimonia, happiness, good spiritedness. One flourishes by living in an ethical life. The Stoics identified the path to eudaimonia. You could tell I haven't read this definition before. Eudaimonia. I need to look into that. With the life spent practicing virtue and living in accordance with nature. So y'all are about to see what happens when I start reading. So whenever I come across a word that I don't know, I look it up. Eudaimonia is a Greek word literally translating to the state or condition of good spirits. Okay, so good spirits. So this book, Stoicism, and you notice that in the definition, they focus on what was I trying to identify? Spent practicing virtue. Logic. That word logic stood out to me. And it's a very logical approach to life. That's what my takeaway was. And this guy, William Irvine, he started off his story. And now that I've read this book, I got to the end and I realized that he wrote a bunch of other books on Stoicism. And this one is focused on a challenge, and a challenge that he gave himself that was aligned with an overall Stoic challenge. But it was him sitting in an airport, getting ready to take off on a flight. And we've all been in those situations where, we need to get somewhere. And that's the time where what happens? The flight's canceled. Security's running your bag 100 different times, telling you, oh, you need to check it. You can't take this. You can't take that, even though you've traveled with these items on numerous flights. You get down, you try to get something to eat. There's no food, and the food that you get, you may spill it on yourself, like whatever. You're just moving around too fast. You got to use the bathroom. You end up running late to your gate, and then you get there and you're late. You're panicking. The good thing is it's late, or even if you get there early and it's running late, it's just a lot of different things that are being thrown at us that we have to deal with. And I'm learning more and more as I go through life that everything is built on perspective, how we see things. We can either see things as a tremendous setback, or we can see things as an opportunity. So as I'm reading this book, it was based on perspective, and he decided to play a game with himself, where when these type of situations happen, and to just kind of continue the story with his airport story, flight was canceled. Well, they kept delaying the flight. Oh, but you're going to take off. Matter of fact, they got on board. Has this ever happened to y'all? For William, they got on the plane, and then they had to get off the plane. They had to deplane because of some technical issues or something like that. Then they got back on the plane, had to deplane. They may have even gotten on another plane, and it was just a whole bunch of stuff. And they said, hey, we're definitely taking off. The next plane, it's solid. It's good to go. But then by the time they got on it, they said that it was too late to fly out. So they had to end up canceling the flight and put them in a hotel. So obviously, if you've been in these type of situations, you know that everybody in the airport is pissed off at this point. Everybody's talking about the negative. Nobody's looking at like, oh, I get to stay an extra night. It's very rarely like that, unless you're in Miami. Maybe, maybe, but still, you've done all this stuff, and the chances are you had to get home. You scheduled that flight at that particular time, especially if it's late at night, because you had to be home that next morning. So obviously everybody's upset, and he used this technique of a Stoic challenge and as a test to himself, where he actually has a grading system of how he's able to deal with certain challenges or situations that come up that may not necessarily be planned or deemed favorable for us at that particular time. So this grading rubric is based on how he reacts to a situation. We've all heard, different sayings based around, life is such and such percentage of, the circumstances are one thing, but most of life and what will determine your outcome in life and how successful we are or not is based on how we react to situations. All right, how we react to different opportunities that come our way, how we react to unfortunate, fortunate, or fortunate situations that we may be in. It's all about our reaction to things that are most likely out of our control. That's what's going to determine our trajectory in life, either in a positive way or in a negative way. So, this particular game, the game that he's played, I've adopted this game over the last few days of reading the book, and it's allowed me to laugh through a lot of situations that I otherwise would not have been laughing about. And it's so funny how we realize when you start to look at how we respond to different situations. It could be anything. It could be somebody cutting you off in traffic. It could be you just sitting in traffic and just getting pissed off because the person in front of you can move up 2 inches and they don't, and you're pissed off because you got to get to work at a certain time. All of these different things. So here you're cursing at the car in front of you. The person can't even hear you. So pretty much you're just like you're throwing out this negative energy, but you're the only one that can absorb it because nobody else can hear you. But we still do it. And it's probably good that nobody else can hear you because then we'd have a lot more of these road rage type of situations. So getting back to the overall challenge, the Stoic challenge, and the game that he was able to play is that every time something happens, every time something that we may otherwise see as not in our favor, consider it a game of what lessons I can learn from this particular situation. Welcome it. Like, how can I welcome it? How can I laugh at it? How can I have fun with this? How can I get through this in the best possible way? How can I first see, okay, what's the best method to overcome this challenge? And then what are the lessons that I'm learning as I'm going through these challenges? So it's like going back to the airport example. If we're able to just say, like, look at the positive, change our perspective, that word perspective will continue coming up. But if we're able to just shift our mindset into thinking like, oh, okay, like let's see, like, okay, they threw one curveball my way. Let's see what else comes. Let's see what else happens. Let's see what else happens. And I literally did this yesterday when I was going through security. When they pull your bag to the side, security was taking forever. They shut down pre-check. Still had clear, but everything was moving super slow. Y'all know how these TSA people be. Like, they act like they're not incentivized to move the line along. It's just kind of like, yo, I'm gonna be here for my shift. Doesn't matter how fast or how slow we go. So it is what it is. That's their mindset. At least that's what it appears to be. So my bag is at the top where it either is going to come down and allow me to pick it up, or it's going to go off to the side where they're going to have to go through it. So I was just laughing. I said, you know what? I'm not even going to look at it. I'm not even going to pay attention to it because it is what it is. No matter what happens, if they got to rerun it, it is what it is. It doesn't matter. At least I didn't have to take my shoes off like the other people because I had the pre-check. So that's kind of what's going through my head. And of course, it went off to the side and they said they got to look through it. And it wasn't even a big deal. They just had to check one of the electronics in there. They checked it and I was on my way. Wasn't a big deal. But I was laughing at it because a lot of people that were standing around me, they were getting frustrated, like pissed off. Like, here they're probably going on a vacation or, traveling for a good reason. People love to travel, but they're letting the TSA experience throw them off. And that's going to set a bad tone for whatever, happens next. Then they're going to be pissed off when they get to the gate. So you're just welcoming in negative energy because that's what you're projecting, because that's what you're allowing to seep into your energy circle. Me, I was just like, yeah, whatever, like, cool. We'll see what happens. We'll see what comes from this. And that is exactly what William did when he was at the airport. Here he is. He's sitting there and getting on a plane, getting off, getting on a plane. He just treated it as a game. Like, how how many times can they do something and me still have a positive outlook on things? Me still be able to see the positive in things. Me still be able to say, laugh at this experience and say, oh, this is actually helping me with my patience. This is actually helping me in different areas of my life that I need to be helped in. And a lot of times that's what happens, right? We get challenged in the ways that we know that they challenge us so much because we know those are the areas that we need to address within ourselves. So him getting on the plane, getting off the plane, getting on, and then eventually them saying that you have to stay in a hotel, you can have a bunch of different mindsets with that and perspectives. But it's like, okay, they're gonna put me up in a nice hotel, cool. And then when he got to the hotel, the first room, because I'm like recalling all these things from the book, the first hotel room, it was terrible. You know, here they say they're putting you in a nice room. It was terrible. They hadn't cleaned the room. So of course he goes back downstairs and he was talking about how he could have had a very negative approach to whoever was at the front desk. And at the front desk, people would have understood probably. They would understood like, yo, dude's pissed off. We just put him in a room, in this dirty room. They just, came from the airport. Like, so people would have empathized and sympathized with him. However, in his head, he's like, that won't do any good. So what happened? The guy was super nice, super friendly, ended up putting him in another room. Everything went well. The room was clean. He was able to get a good night's sleep. And he probably, if he was pissed off, wouldn't have. Probably would have just been up all night, just thinking about the situation, tossing and turning, and just being in a negative energy space. Excuse me. Sorry. So we control. Like once we realize that when we remove how emotionally we can get involved with certain situations and remove the negative emotions, I should say, the anger that would normally come up in these type of situations, frustration, all these different things, then it empowers us in a way. It empowers us because it's like, I'm in more control. We all want power. We all want to be in control, right? We know how that feels, how that can almost be intoxicating for people. Even in a negative way at certain points. But for this type of situation, when we're in control of our control over our negative emotions and we're not allowing them to seep in, then it's empowering for me. It allows me to laugh at certain situations. It gives me confidence. It just makes me feel more in control of myself as well as the situation. So when I'm more in control of myself, then I'm going to be more in control of the situation because the situation in quotes, is usually not necessarily the actual situation, but it's how I respond to the situation. That's what's either going to blow it up or just make it like, oh, yeah, no worries. Like, you just got another room? Okay, cool. No worries. Oh, you're just going to, put me up at a hotel? All right, cool. Oh, we got to get off the plane again? No worries. At least I'm able to fly. So when you start to think about life in this way, and that's something that he's also incorporated in the trick in his mind, where it's like, imagine, and he talks about this, imagine, I believe he mentioned in the book, where you take away certain things that we just become so used to and we take for granted. So just the ability to fly, across the country, where before, back in the day, you could try to get across the country, and if you're lucky, you're going on a horse, maybe a bumpy ride with a carriage. So, or you got to walk, all these things. And when we are able to see life and challenge ourselves to see things in a different perspective, a not spoiled perspective, a perspective as if a lot of these things that we have are a privilege. A lot of these things that we have are we're very privileged. So it's almost like with the cars. Think about it with the cars. A lot of people want luxury cars, but you could have a 10-year-old car, Honda Civic, and compare that car to when people were riding horses. Matter of fact, just go 30 years ago, and that car would be the envy of everybody if you had that car. But because times have changed, we look at that car differently. So if we're able to trick our minds into What if I didn't have this? There's a lot of people that don't have this. Or imagine what things were before. It's not going to necessarily come from a state of contentment and breed contentment, but it's just going to breed a certain level of appreciation. So we want to be able to appreciate things, not necessarily just live in a content space, because we hear the word content a lot. And I don't want to associate what I'm saying with how we typically hear being content. However, I want to focus on the appreciation aspect for it. We are more likely to appreciate certain things by understanding that, hey, this may be the norm for us, but it wasn't always the norm for everybody else. So playing these type of games, it allows us to trick ourselves. And games are so important for us. Games overall, and it's funny, when I was initially making this video, I had the thought that, okay, I'm going to focus on the game aspect. Like William is able to create a game. All these challenges that come my way, this is all a game. Like these are all the quote unquote stoic gods playing a game with me to see how much can be challenged and how I can overcome them, and how I can overcome them with a smile on my face. Like, yo, that's all you got? Like bring some more, bring some more. And that's the imagine like your favorite sports team or your favorite player. Imagine your favorite player or a boxer, maybe a boxer. When you're able to, and you watch these boxing matches and somebody gives them everything that they got, and you're the person you're rooting for is able to take it and just like laugh it off a little bit, like that was your best shot. And it didn't do much. I'm still smiling. So you're in for a long night. That does something. That builds confidence within you, and against your opponent, that's gonna bring some question marks in their head, to where they're questioning, like, yo, is this person that I'm in with, like they may be a little bit too much right now, because I just hit them with my best shot and it didn't do anything, and I know that was my best shot. So it's the same thing with life. It's the same thing with these different challenges. Yo, life just hit me with a big challenge and just saw me laugh through it, smile through it, overcome it, be locked and loaded as far as, from a logical standpoint, like, okay, this is what we need to do. This is the plan. Let's implement it. Right? Let's shoot. We load it up. Let's shoot. Let's shoot our shot. So with these things, it's always going to give us, it's going to give us the best chance to get the best outcome that we're looking for, if we can approach it with this mindset and see it as a game. So while I wanted to focus on games, and I wrote a text to myself, I'm big on, like, I always text myself when I think of an idea that in my head is amazing. I don't know if I don't know if y'all do the same. You ever have like an epiphany and just like, yo, I got to text myself this. So, and the text was just based on, if sports wasn't a game, like imagine, like, what makes sports so fun? Is it the activity, or is it because it's an actual game where we know the desired outcome that we're looking for, where we want to win? Like it's almost as if when you incorporate the same activities, like let's take football. If it was football and just running around and, trying to hit somebody, if you looked at the type of things that happen in football, you wouldn't necessarily see them as fun. You know what I mean? Like, yo, just like, bro, you just hit me. Like, what are you doing? Like, you wouldn't necessarily see it as fun. But when you understand that it's a part of an overall game, into where this side is trying to get one thing accomplished and our side is trying to get another thing accomplished so we can win, we're competing, that's what makes it exciting. It's the game aspect. So if we're able to go through life and incorporate this game aspect into how we see challenges and how we see obstacles, then it's going to put us in a different mindset, to where, oh yeah, this is fun. Like we invite all of this. Because think about it, when we invite all of that, we're going to get the most out of it. It's almost, go to a game where, say you overmatch your opponent and it's easy. We've all been, if you play high school, hopefully I don't know, hopefully, but you've probably experienced a blowout to where either you got blown out or where you're blowing out the other team. And in those type of situations, I'm not sure that there's much gain from either side. But the team that's blowing out the other team, it there's not gain from a lot gained from that. And my coach used to tell me, Coach Shoop used to say that winning just masks mistakes. It minimizes your mistakes. It just kind of masks them in a way, while losing just puts a magnifying glass on it. It just highlights your mistakes. So when we're able to be challenged, the more that we're able to be challenged, we're gonna have a realistic understanding of things we need to work on within ourselves, but it's also going to give us the opportunity to gain certain lessons, certain tools, certain skills that we otherwise wouldn't gain because we're not getting challenged in those areas. We all hear the saying, it goes back to what hard times make strong men, you know, that quote, and it's like easy times make weak men, and weak men create times of trouble. I forget the exact quote, but y'all know I always used to say it. I guess I haven't said it enough or lately to the point where I remember it word for word. But we are built. The person that is able to go through challenges, overcome them, that person is going to be more equipped to deal with bigger challenges, to deal with a broad range of challenges. And if we are able to approach it like a game, it allows us to enjoy the process, enjoy it. I tell you, I've been in certain games where, you know, I take a big hit. You know, somebody in high school, you know, if I'm running the ball, or even, you know, in college and the pros, where it's like, yo, dude just got me on that play. I'm not even going front. Like, dude just kind of bodied me a little bit. Um, you're able to laugh at it. You're able to laugh at it because you know, like, all right, you know what? I got you on the next one. Don't trip. And you're able to just have a mindset to where it's like, yo, I'm about to learn from that. That's never happening again. Like, but I like that. I like that. Now, if that wasn't a game or wasn't a sport, then this would, it'd be a physical altercation, right? But that's the beauty of sports. That's the beauty of sports, and that's the beauty of games in general. It allows us to learn these valuable lessons. It allows us to go through these challenging circumstances and get the takeaways that we want to get from them. Which that's the whole point of sports. To make it a game, but to get real life lessons. To participate in a game, but to get real life lessons. That's the meaning of sports. And that's why we want to challenge ourselves as much as possible. We don't want stuff easy. We don't want to just play on the sophomore team and the JV team. No, we want to shine on varsity. We want to shine on varsity. But to get to that point, we have to go through freshmen and approach that with the right mindset. So that way we can get we can get the tools and skills that we need in order to take to the next level. Sophomore, then we take it a step up, JV. Then it's like, yo, we ready for varsity. We're ready for varsity. Why? Because we already went through the whole experience that we had with overcoming the challenges that we did when it came to freshman team, sophomore team, and JV. So if we can incorporate these Stoic type of principles and Stoicism, I guess it's funny, I haven't even really focused on, you know, what Stoicism really is, because to be totally honest, this was my introduction to it. And this focuses more on the test. So Stoicism is being able to, this is my takeaway, being able to have challenges, quote unquote, problems come our way, but to not let negative emotions get involved, to not be frustrated, to not be angry, to not feel as if, to get in that victim mode. That's a big one. To not be in that victim mode, to actually flip it. Instead of a victim, this is an opportunity. Thank you for this challenge. Thank you for this challenge. Instead of being angry, smile, welcome it. Instead of getting frustrated, just lean into it. Like, okay, we got, hey, this is a good one. We need some more research on this one. We got to make sure we're on point, because this team that we're playing, they're very disciplined. They're very fast. We need to be on point. So when you embrace that in sports, we understand the results that are going to come. But if we can use that same type of mindset, apply that to real life, then imagine the outcomes that we're going to get just by having this Stoic approach. Imagine if we can trick ourselves to all these, you know, what we used to call Oh man, like these things keep happening to me. These problems keep coming my way. I got bad luck. I got I'm just unfortunate. When we can get rid of that mindset and welcome it all, imagine where we'll be in life. Imagine where we'll be in life, because you know this life thing, I think we're all learning as we go. But one of the things that I'm learning more and more is like, hey, this is just more about how we respond to situations, how I respond to conversations with my girl, how I respond to it. It's not the initial problem that we have, is usually how one of us responds to it, and then the next response based on that. So instead, if we could just flip it and say like, oh, this is going to be fun. I know how I would typically react in a situation like this, and I know where that leads to a negative space. But let me see how I can flip the script a little bit and approach it with a smile in a positive way, because all I'm concerned is the outcome, the lessons that I want to gain from it. And if I can approach it that way, let's see how things go. That's the grading scale. So we want to grade ourselves based on that. And maybe I'll do another video just specifically on the grading scale that William uses. But it's and maybe we can create our own grading scale. Maybe we can create our own grading scale based on how we typically respond to certain things. If I know I usually get angry, all right, let's put that angry there. If I know I usually get frustrated, let's put that there. If I'm the type where I start blaming other people for the problems and get live in that victim mode, let's put that there. So then we put all the categories, how we know that we struggle and are challenged in, and then we grade ourselves moving forward based on those situations. And that's one thing that I didn't do yet with the book. We were supposed to actually write down our grading system. And y'all know I'm big on writing stuff down. What is the number? I think if you write stuff down, you're 43% more likely to achieve it. So we're big on writing stuff down. Matter of fact, so big that I stopped putting stuff on my computer. The other night, this book actually convinced me to. I went and just got a notebook from Walgreens. I was on my way home and I said, you know what? Let me detour real quick, go to Walgreens, grab a book, and just start writing everything in it. Everything. I had the Remarkable, which is the tablet that you can write on. That's cool because it gives you the action to write it down rather than just typing stuff or on your computer or your phone. But I said, nah, let me get to the writing down. So I'm definitely going to be creating a grading rubric based on how I respond to different situations. I think that I probably, I guess over the last couple of days, it's been cool. It's been cool, but I could definitely do better. But I'm at least identifying certain stuff where they have even a 5-second rule, which is 5 seconds to kind of just sit back, get your mind right, and then if you need to reset in order to have the appropriate mindset, the stoic mindset in approaching these quote unquote problems, these quote unquote challenges, which we now look at as just opportunities. And when we make that shift, that's what's going to give us the juice we need to accomplish whatever it is we're looking to accomplish, and to make sure that we're prepared, because we got to prepare. We need to develop those tools and skills in order to accomplish those amazing goals that we want to accomplish. Because to accomplish anything, there's going to be challenges, there's going to be setbacks, there's going to be obstacles, right? So if we expect them, and if we invite them and welcome them and look forward to them and embrace them when they come, it's going to give us the best possibility to overcome that challenge, gain the lessons that we needed to gain to reach that level. It's almost like a video game, to reach that level. Or let's say karate, where you get your belts. Okay, boom, we've learned the skills to get to this level. Now we want the next belt. Now we want the next one. And it gives us that, it almost excites us to where now, instead of looking at challenges and quote unquote setbacks as something that's deterring us from getting to our goal, we're now able to say like, yo, I need that next challenge, because I know with every challenge I'm elevating. So it's like, yo, what's up? I need to be challenged. Where's this setback? Because I'm associating the setback with getting to the next level of success in whatever area of life that I'm looking to get to it in. It could be personal, it could be business wise, it could be any area, fitness wise, anything. All right. So that's been my mindset on a lot of these things. Hopefully this can be helpful for a lot of y'all, looking to stoicism. I'm always looking to take away certain things from anything, always looking to take away any positive things that I can from any book that I read, any opportunity that I'm in. So if I'm saying that, then why wouldn't I welcome all the quote unquote challenges and setbacks? So instead of looking at those as negatives, now I'm looking at them as positives. So hopefully that will, matter of fact, no, hopefully. So this will be reflected in some of the videos that I'm presenting to y'all. And just if you're with me outside of this OG network and in real life, you'll be able to see those, how I'm handling those situations, and it will be a more positive response to different challenges and setbacks. And who knows, maybe I'll even document some of them. I guess it's I'm not going to wait until the end to document it. I'll document it in real time. I'll document it in real time, let y'all know exactly what I'm going through, what challenges arise, and what's the plan to overcome it. And I'll document the whole step along, every step along the way, to which I will achieve success in that particular area, will gain a lot of lessons, tools and skills from those obstacles that I can implement moving forward. So the takeaway, with living and accepting and embracing this Stoic challenge, is I want to be tougher, I want to be calmer, and I want to be more resilient. So if you know me, the emphasis is probably on the calmer part. That's the Taurus energy, right? I'm not big on the signs, but when it makes sense, it makes sense, right? So I guess maybe that's just a little bit of the Taurus energy. But yeah, I'm definitely looking to be more calm in approaching these situations so I can have a clear mind in order to get whatever it is I'm looking to get done. So with that, shout out to William Irvine. He has a bunch of other books. I guess one is called A Guide to the Good Life. And in the back of his book, he actually has a bunch of other recommendations on some good reads. So I'll definitely get into those as well. What's the next book that I'm reading? I think I have the next book. I have a couple of them where one is, let me share them with you. I actually got to pick them up downstairs. They're in the Luxor. But one that I picked up from the bookstore as well is The Art of Not Giving a F. And let me go on Amazon real quick just so I could tell you the other books. Like I said, I'm big on, if somebody recommends a book or if the energy kind of comes my way, I'm definitely going to tap into it. So my guy actually recommended, how can I get to my orders? Recommended. All right, yeah, here it goes. So The Power of Awareness by, who's this one by? By Neville Goddard. Neville Goddard. And then The Power of Your Subconscious. And this one is by Joseph Murphy. So those are the books that I'm indulging in now. And of course, I'm still reading Law of Success by Napoleon Hill. That's a little bit of a longer one. I think that's a 500 page or so. I'm bouncing back and forth between books. Some people may not like that. I like to do it. I have certain books that I like reading during the day, some that I like reading at night, some that I like reading first thing in the morning. And I'll give you an example of one that I just finished real quick, and then I'm going to get y'all out of here. So the one that I just finished, I just posted it. It's by Mitch Albom, The 5 People You Meet in Heaven. So I started reading that book at night. And I was, after reading like the first couple pages, I was like, yeah, this may not be a good night book for me. This may be a good morning book for me. Start of the day. I'm trying not to say morning. But this may be a good AM book for me. So you guys do what's best for y'all. Do what's going to give y'all the best results that you're looking for. And we will see y'all soon. Y'all know what it is. Strength and honor, onward and upward. Get to the bag with integrity, of course. And let's just keep winning. Let's just keep winning. Let's keep losing. Let's lose fast. Let's lose fast. Something big that they mentioned in the book. I think it was, he's talking about Zuckerberg and people that work for Facebook. He encouraged lose fast, because when you lose fast, you don't want to take forever to lose. You want to lose fast so you can get those lessons, so that way you can implement them to get the bigger wins. So, let's keep winning. Let's lose fast. Let's get those lessons, and let's just continue to elevate. And dang, I did it again. I need to start off with these videos by asking y'all to like and share, but especially like the video, dislike the video. We go back and forth, but just give me a like for the algorithm. It's definitely appreciated. and but I gotta say it. I can't not say it. Or give a dislike. But if you do give a dislike, I would appreciate it if you put in the comment why you disliked it, and maybe there's certain things that I can build on. So always looking for feedback. And even if you disagree with something, you can still like it. But then just say exactly why you disagree. We're not just here to disagree. Maybe you can just appreciate me sharing the message. So give me a like. Give me a like. Share with your friends. Share with your people. Share with your round. And I'll see y'all soon. All right. Ew.